So I managed to call the police and they are around. So they just came around to tow his car. And from here, I'll be going to the EGMC hospital to check on Kuami Eugene to see how far things are going. I arranged for another car to take him to the hospital. That's the UGMC hospital. Yeah, so I am still here. And people have come around to help. So we are here. So trying to make sure everything is okay. But he's fine. He just had a broken arm. Yeah, he had a broken arm and with some blood all over him. But it's fine. It would have been fair, he would have gone, but thank God he's still alive because the car is badly damaged. All the airbags is popped out, and as you can see, so we are still here. Yeah, it's really bad. Yeah. No, you can't close. It can't close. Just leave it. Don't worry. They'll take it. They'll take it. It's okay. No, I'm not sure there's anything there. Yeah.
All right, so at the Champion New Moon segment today, this is a very sad news because news KSL news reaching out this indicates that Kuami Eugene, our own high life King Kong musician or hip life artist, Kuami Eugene, survived a very fatal accident. Now, thank God that he is alive. So let us clarify this particular one before we proceed. That Kuami Eugene is alive, but the video, except that we just watched, clearly, you could see very well. So this was nothing to write home about, and it's just God that we think, and within just a split second, Kuami Eugene could have died, or Kuami Eugene was just in the middle between life and death. But then, just to show you how severe this particular accident is, let us show you these particular pictures. Now, we'll be giving you details as to what really happened and where the accident did happen, and even what we are learning currently, the updates on it. But then, if you watch on the screens currently, these are first-hand pictures which is coming from the scene, the accident scene. I mean, Kuami Eugene's accident scene, and you could see very well that this is the famous Range Rover that Kuami Eugene purchased not too long ago, and this was the car which was involved in an accident with a tipper truck, which was just on the screens, and you could see the magnitude of the accident. If you just check inside the car, you see that all the airbags are popped. But let us reiterate this, that Kuami Eugene is alive. Kuami Eugene is alive. So let's give you the details as to how we got here. Now, according to the eyewitness, who happens to be a reporter of modern Ghana, he is saying that he was just behind Kuami Eugene just this dawn when Kuami Eugene was driving around the Dzorwulu stretch. We don't know if he was leaving the Dzorwulu stretch or perhaps he was going to the Dzorwulu stretch, but what we do know is that it happened around the famous Dzorwulu stretch, Fiesta Royal, that area. So according to the eyewitness, he is saying that Kuami Eugene actually was behind the tipper truck, and for some unknown reason, he rammed into the tipper truck. Now we are learning that this particular tipper truck was parked at the outskirts of the road. And according to the eyewitness, who very soon will pull up some tweets or some of his messages on the screen, he's saying that this accident did happen as a result of poor street light. Now, if you're in Ghana currently, you will not, you not find this amusing, or perhaps this wouldn't be a news. I'm talking about the doomsday crisis that currently Ghana is facing. So, anytime we face doomsday as a country, usually our street light also go off. Now, in advanced countries, these street lights do have backup battery or even backup plan, or even some of them uses solar. So they charge up in the day and they run up in the night. But Ghana, when the lights go off, the street lights also go off. So the eyewitness came out to say that he believes that all of this happened due to poor visibility. Now, there's one video I want you to watch before we proceed. Let's watch this video. When we come back, we'll give you the remainder of the updates. Okay, so as I was saying, this is exactly what happened. The car just saw on the screens was the extent at which, or the extent to which Kwame Eugene's car was pretty much damaged. Now, we'll be pulling up some tweets from the main eyewitness who saw this firsthand, and even what he thinks that happened. But before then, those of you who are asking, how was Kwame Eugene really hurt? I mean, did he really survive the crash? So the good news is Kwame Eugene really did survive the crash. But then let's also reiterate this particular point that Kwame Eugene really suffered some injuries. I don't know if at this point in time I should say they are minor injuries or they are major injuries, but what we are learning is that the injuries are pretty much severe. The injuries are pretty much severe. A broken arm, a head cut, concussion. He was rushed to the hospital at that particular scene. So in as much as Kuami Eugene is doing well, he's not really doing really well. And we all know that during this car accident, the victim might come out well, but if you don't take time, the victim might suffer from internal bleeding and the victim might die the next day. So that's exactly what is really happening. Now let's put this on the screens. You realize that this is coming from TV3, but we'll pull up the eyewitness on very soon. He says, award-winning Ghanaian musician Kuami Eugene has been involved in an accident. The incident took place at the CP near DSTV office en route to Dzorwulu traffic light in Accra. He sustained minor injuries with no fatalities recorded. So, as I'm saying, when we are heading up to Dzorwulu, CP around the DSTV road, that is a famous stretch before you branch to Dzorwulu. That's Perez Chapel, the main road that leads to Perez Chapel, the curve. They are saying just around that stretch where CP, which most of you who drive, including me, you really notice the place. So CP area where the DSTV is, they are saying that is where the accident was recorded, not Dzorwulu Junction, as many are saying. Then again, the eyewitness, this is what the eyewitness also said about the whole issue, and let's pull up the message on the screens. So this is what the eyewitness, it says, Modern Ghana editor Ajafo, who was right behind his Range Rover mangled car, rushed to the rescue. He arranged for a vehicle to convey him together with one person, a male on board, to UGMC hospital. Kuami Eugene was the one driving. He also called Achimota police to the scene. So basically, we are learning that Kuami Eugene wasn't the only victim of this particular tragic incident. He also had one male in the car. So it is unclear how this happened, but this same eyewitness is telling us that this was as a result of poor visibility. So they are of the view that because the lights were not really visible, they couldn't really see what was ahead of them. This was what really caused them to jump into an articulator, and then oh boy, just look at the extent at which the car was damaged. It should just tell you that this is nothing to write home about. But the good news is Kuami Eugene is pretty much alive, and then as I said, he suffered some minor injuries together with one person who was also beside him, or one passenger in the car, and reports suggested that both of these victims are now fine, and the police is also investigating the issue. But then the good news here is Kuami Eugene is alive. But the big question people are asking is, for how long would we continue to suffer these kind of atrocities? You know, Terry Boncheka suffered the same fate. Susie Williams suffered the same fate. Nanama McBride suffered the same fate. Ebony suffered the same fate as a result of putting stars on the road which are uncalled for. Either it's a lump of sand which has been dumped in the middle of the road, or perhaps it has to do with something that the tipper truck had parked. The lights are not working. You know, a car has got spoiled and it's just parked at the side of the road without any lights or without any reflector to show that this car is here. And these are killing people. You know, just recently, a famous TikToker died as a result of this same thing. A tipper truck was parked, and then they just ramped into it, and then one of them could not survive. So it has really happened several times, and this time around it's Kuami Eugene, and it is only making headway on news because it's Kuami Eugene. If it was any other person, like the famous Amasamai accident just that happened just a month ago, no one will have spoke about it. Now, that famous Amasama accident that did happen, it claimed about 11 to 15 lives. And remember, none of those passengers did survive. We understand some did survive, but most of them died on the spot. and it was as a result of this whole accident, and also just leaving car on the outskirts of the road. As you can see, this car had no reflectors. Perhaps the tipper truck driver felt like he was tired, he needed to sleep. He just parked the car there, no reflectors, no traffic gators, or even he wouldn't even bother to put on hazard if he's not even putting on a reflector. So this is the sad situation, but the good news is Kuami Eugene is alive. We will be feeding you with more updates as all of these events continue to unfold.